Hello everyone, I thought I'd just touch base and give you a little bit of history lesson. So now sit in your chairs, backs up straight, no talking in the class now. I want to discuss here my sTEAmpunk tea leaf fortune telling card deck, and this has been published by an Australian publishing company here called Animal Dreaming Publishing, and it is owned and ran by the lovely Scott Alexander King and Trudy King. They are husband and wife, and they are very family orientated people. So all the authors that are with Scott and Trudy through Animal Dreaming Publishing are very much like an extended family to each other, and they actually took me seriously when I first met them, and with the whole idea of tea leaf reading cards. I had spoken to other publishing companies, and they wanted everything pink and fluffy. They said, we want Doreen Virtue. Well, look how that's turned out, everyone who's in the know about the Doreen Virtue saga. But anyway, that's a whole other story. So they took me seriously of what I wanted to show the world. And it's fantastic because they've taken along the ideas, the concept, the artwork, everything else that I had in my head, which is a very strange ADHD adult brain, so I am told. And we came up with the sTEAmpunk tea leaf reading cards. Hang on, I've got these upside down. But what I wanted to do is give you a little bit of history. So now there's a lot of you that already have this beautiful deck. It is richly bold in colours. It's got the keywords written on them. They come in a beautiful box. It's got a nice little magnet like that, and a very extensive booklet. And the booklet took me ages and ages and ages to come up with, because for each 2 pages you have all the different messages from tea symbols. Now, why did I come up with tea leaf reading cards? A lot of people ask. This particular deck is actually based on this. This here is a fortune-telling cup made by Paragon Chinaware, which is English China. Paragon Chinaware now owned by Royal Doulton. And many of the symbols that you see in this cup are symbols that's actually in the card deck. So we've got question marks and monies and eyes, and we've got the skull and the plane and the triangle and so on. The only symbols that are not in this cup that is in the deck are the people cards and a couple of extras that I threw in there. So we've even got there the drum, the kisses, the candles, the scales and everything. So, and this has a beautiful verse that's in the old cups here. It says, many curious things I see when telling fortunes in your tea. Now this one here is about 1930, and fortune teller cups go right back to late 1800s. And I do have a very old one, and they are beautiful. Again, they're cups with symbols in them. So then fast forward to current years, or 2018. And this is when I've actually developed my own tea leaf reading cups. And these, at least they're a bit more affordable as opposed to an antique one. These are very scarce to try and find these days, particularly in that sort of mint condition. So these here, yes, a lot more affordable, robust for a daily use. In the old days, fortune teller teacups, they were given to somebody a bit like a joke gift, or you'd give them nowadays the magic 8 ball, and they'd shake the 8 ball and they'd tell you in that mysterious Zoltar voice of, it is uncertain, and yes, that is occurrence, and so on. So these here, they would have given you a cup and said, there you go, happy birthday, read your own fortunes in the morning every day. And the way that they would read them is where the blobs of tea actually landed. So that's how fortune teller teacups are used. Sorry, bang. But I just wanted to show you where the history comes from for this deck. all comes from a cup of tea. So laying out tea-leaf reading cards, people laugh at me when I say pardon the pun, it is fluid, and that is exactly right, because when we lay out cards, it's almost like we've stirred a cup of tea, tip it out, where all the leaves and patterns land. And again, why the directions, all the directions that tea symbols land. Those that read a blank cup as in traditional tea leaf reading, like myself, we look at symbols in a cup and which way they face. Is there person, place or thing? Is there an action? And so on. So tea cards here are just a flat structure on reading a cup. So there's the end of your history lesson. You can all run off out in the yard now to play.